Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can possibly save up some workload units, probably quite substantial workload units in Bubble.io by using Teseron STUDIO. So here we have a project in Teseron STUDIO where I imported approximately 60 tasks, I believe. Yeah, 59 tasks. Which all of these tasks has titles, descriptions, priority, label, assignee, reporter, project, and some due date. Now I want to create a project in Bubble where I will list out all these tasks. The project is now empty. There is a group of APIs, but no API installed yet. So I am going to do it right now. Now here comes the magic. If I click this API icon, I can grab my API with this very basic setup, but I can do a couple of things that will help me to save those workload units I was promising before. How we can do it? So for example, I have this option of ticking this columns tasks. And by doing this, I can basically pick which which columns or which fields I want to include into this API, which means that if I can say that, for example, I need only the title, only the assignee, and only the report, nothing else, this will do that no other data will go to this API, which means that once the Bubble app will fetch the data, it will ignore all the rest and it will fetch only what you need. So if I grab this, I go back to my Bubble, I go to my API connector and I create a new API call. I'm going to call it get tasks. It's going to be data and get, and initialize the call. The call was successful, and as you can see, I'm getting the ID. Obviously I need the ID, but apart from that I get only the title, the assignee, and the reporter. Exactly what I told Teseron STUDIO to send me back. So now I'm going to build out my repeating group. And so once I have this repeating group, I can tell the repeating group that my type of content here is going to be get tasks, because that is my API call, and I'm gonna get data from external API, and I'm gonna choose that API I just configured. And that's basically it. That's all I need to do. Now I can grab some text and I can say that this text is going to be the current cells get tasks title. I'm going to duplicate it. This is going to be the assignee, and I'm going to duplicate that. And this one is going to be the reporter. And let's make the title stand out a little bit. And that's pretty much it. Let's preview it. We are getting back a list of tasks with titles, with assignees, and with reporters. Now again, I can do a little bit of beautifying here, so I'm gonna make this video faster again. And so here we are. We have a little bit of a more beautiful table of my tasks, but I'm getting back only 10 records. It is because Teseron STUDIO by default gives you back 10 records. So what we can do, we can go back to Teseron STUDIO and we can say that range from, and we can also define a count, how many we want, but these values are going to be dynamic and I will be able to set them in Bubble. I don't need to set them here just yet. And I also want to be able to filter in this data. So let's say that we will create a filter where the assignee contains something, or the reporter contains. So these values are now added into my API, and I'm going to be able to work with them in Bubble. How? I'm going to show it to you right now. So I'm coming back to my Bubble editor. I need to go back to my API I just created. I'm going to delete it and I'm going to replace it with the new one. And as you can see, Bubble created for me these keys here. So I have range from, range count, and I have the filter for assignee and the filter for reporter. I can untick these privates here. I'm going to reinitialize the call. And as you can see, I'm getting back again only the information that I needed. But now if I open up my repeating group and I'm going to look to my data source, I am getting all these parameters that I can now work with. So for example, if I say that I want only certain assignee and certain reporter, I can grab excuse me, I can grab an input, an icon, you will see why in a minute, and I'm gonna equally distribute it. And so now what I will do is I'm gonna call this input assignee, and this is gonna be input reporter. And now if I go to my repeating group, again to the data source, I can say that the contain assignee filter, I want it to be inputs assignee's value, and this contain reporter is going to be inputs reporter's value. That's all I need to do. And the only thing we can do is we can just set this icon. I don't know if there is an icon for reset. Let's say this one, lock reset. That's different, but whatever. We can use it for now. Let's make it black. I don't like the blue color. And I'm gonna add a workflow to this. Element action, reset data in the group B. Yeah, because group B is this one. Yeah. Okay, so let's now preview this. I have all the 60. I can add a text here where I will ask what is the count. So rows. So how many rows do we have? And I'm gonna add repeating group get tasks, get list of tasks count. Just so I want to know how many rows do we have here. Make it fat, nice and fat. So we have 59, so all the records are there. And now we can basically start to filter, right? We can say Alice for the assignee and reporter, for example, Emma. As you can see, we see that we have only 4 rows that matches this filter. We can remove the filter. We can do the same. Emma is the assignee and Emma as the reporter. There are only 2 tasks. So that's it, guys. I strongly believe that this is going to be able to save us a little bit of a workload unit in Bubble, and it's going to be even make your app faster and better in terms of performance. Not to mention that by doing this, basically, you're not exposing the data that you don't want to expose via a certain API, which is also good from the security point of view. So thank you very much for watching this, and stay tuned for other updates. Goodbye.